Hello everyone, welcome to PF International, event 2 of the year for the Wera Tools Motorsport UK British Kart Championships, but the first time we've seen this year the IAME classes. Beautiful weekend here at PF International. It's hard to believe that when we were last here 3 weeks ago we had coats on and everything, but it should be a very exciting weekend with some good track conditions. There's lots to cover, so let's get right into it. Let's have a little step into Jade for this weekend, see how they're getting on. Lewis Islin, I think, has just skipped into the back. We've not had any time pre-practice yet, so this is going to be a bit of a review of what's been happening so far in 2024 with our IAME runners and who we've got this weekend. Let's have a quick chat with Lewis. Lewis, how are we feeling ahead of the first round?
Yeah, looking good. Like the club round last week even, we're looking good, so hopefully we can bring that over to this weekend.
Track's nicely rubbered in as well. There's not really been any rain at all since the club round last week. Is that conditions you enjoy? Yeah,
the track's really quick. Like it might get to the point where it's going to over grip a little bit, but hopefully it stays how it is.
Lots of Euro runners here this weekend. What do you make of that?
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see where they end up. It's nice to see unfamiliar faces here, and we'll see how they get on.
And the wider team, how are we feeling this weekend? What kind of results do we think we can get?
Yeah, the whole team's looking good. We're all confident going into this weekend, so hopefully we can all get a nice result for the team.
Good stuff. Well, have a good weekend, Lewis. Good to see it. Yeah, I think some good results from the last time we were here for the Bills. I've just noted, I don't think Noah's around at the moment, but Noah Wolf, familiar name to the British Kart Championships, but this is the first time I think that Noah's raced with us this year, but has been running very, very well in Europe. This is one of the entries that we're going to be talking about in terms of the World Championships later in the year. Noah here, running in the FIA classes so far in 2024, running very well in those classes. That is a driver running this weekend, obviously looking to win this weekend, of course, but has also got an eye on September and on how things are going to be running there. Evolve, what have I got in my notes for Evolve? Luca Narroway running with them this weekend, should be on for some good results. I think we got Luca's Kart right in front of us at the moment. In fact, right on cue. Luca, can we have a quick word for the Paddock show? How are we feeling ahead of this weekend?
Really good. Just quite confident going into it, as like last weekend, the club round, we did quite well. So.
Have you been out on circuit yet, or is this your first practice that you're heading to now?
This is going to be our third practice, so the times are looking quite good, but don't know because the timing is obviously not on yet. But this session we'll know whereabouts we are.
Good stuff. We'll let you get going. I don't want to hold you up before your practice session, but good to have a chat there with Luca. Cooper Snedden's joined me as well. Cooper, good to see you again. How are we feeling ahead of this weekend?
I'm feeling quite confident about this weekend. Of course, France-Corsa didn't really go to plan, but this weekend I think it's going to be a different story.
What do you think you learnt most from racing last weekend in Italy that you can bring here? It's a very different circuit.
Well, I thought just bringing through more speed through the corners and stuff. I think it's just whenever any driver goes out to Europe, I think it just makes them a bit of a better driver and get more experience in the kart.
And you're proudly repping a bit of Mr. Norris as well with his win last week?
Yeah, Norris is my favourite F1 driver after Max Verstappen. Yeah.
Good stuff. We'll catch you later on. We should, of course, send our congratulations to the whole Norris family. There's many people in this paddock here this weekend who were around when Lando was racing through. A very, very popular victory, not just in the Formula One paddock, but here as well. So yeah, really good to see that the UK has a new Formula One Grand Prix winner for these young drivers to hopefully emulate in the future. Where should we go now? Let's go down here. Let's go around the back. to have a bit of a fuller talk of this weekend. As we say, it's the first weekend of the first round for IAME. 4 classes of IAME here again this year. You've got, starting with the IAME Water Swift Restricted, good number of new drivers through there. With the cadet category, you then got IAME Water Swift, the non-restricted category. That's got quite a few numbers moving up through it. You've got the junior and then the senior X30 categories, and you've also got this weekend Tillotson T4. This is a one-off appearance for Tillotson T4. Aim of the game for all the drivers this weekend. Good strong field of over 20 drivers here at PF. This acts as their qualifier for the T4 Nations Cup later on in the year. That's an event that'll be run at Valencia, at Autodromo de Lucas Galero. So I think it's going to be a really competitive run for the drivers here this weekend. Going to do hopefully a bit of a feature on Tillotson as well, so more across the weekend on that. BMR have been running very, very well in X30 Mini in IAME Euro Series. In terms of who they've got in their awning this weekend, Austin Newstead and George House in particular are names that jump out. They've both been running very well in Europe so far this year. I think we've got George at the back of the awning here. We'll have a quick chat with George if that's okay. George, back in the UK, PF, round 1, how are we feeling?
Good, confident for this first week of the British Championship. Yeah, hoping we can do well.
What's your favourite thing about PF as a circuit? It's a long circuit by UK standards.
I like the bridge. Yeah, it's quite... It goes up the hill and then it comes down.
And some really good race pace in Franciacorta last week. I know it wasn't quite the final result that you wanted, but a solid run into the top 10 there and looking good for this weekend?
Yep. Yeah, it was good.
Good stuff. We'll have a chat with Austin Newstead as well. Austin's had a really good year so far in Europe. Austin, getting ready for one of your free practices, back in it again. Race pace has been really, really strong so far this year, whether it be in Spain or in Italy for the Euro Series. Is that looking good again for this weekend?
Yes, we've currently been right up there in the IAME Euro Series. Hopefully we can continue it on to this weekend.
Qualifying is probably the bit that's been the Achilles heel, or the initial first lap pace. What have you been working on to try and get that fixed?
In what way?
In terms of switching the tyres on as well, is that something that you're working on for this weekend?
Yeah, generally before I've been quite good, like getting the tyres switched on. When we go new tyres before, for the practices before as well, I've managed to get them switched on straight away, which hopefully I can do that in the qualifying as well.
Good stuff. Well, thanks for talking to us. But yeah, Austin's been running fantastically so far this season. I think he's in a good position to have a strong year. Where shall we go next? Let's head to ORM. ORM always a big factor in these IAME rounds, particularly in the younger categories. Myself and Anthony Jordan, Anthony sends his love by the way, having a big discussion last weekend about how at the start of things in the cadet and inter categories it was very much the ORM versus Fusion Motorsport story. There's definitely going to be other teams involved in that picture this weekend, but I'm expecting this kart here, the number 44, to run very quickly, particularly in qualifying. Harry Williams had a mega run last weekend in Italy, took timed qualifying pole position, got himself a top 10 in the races as well, and raced through to some good championship points in the finale. Different points system, of course, in those competitions, but a very good sign nonetheless. Christian Kobe as well. Christian Kobe's been running strongly so far this season. The Irish driver looking to represent well here again. Also want to see if we can have a quick chat with Charlie Clough. Let's have a little chat here. How are we feeling ahead of this weekend, Charlie?
Good.
How's there's a lot of noise up behind us. Track, have you been out yet? Is it feeling good?
Yeah, bit warm.
it is a bit warm. Does that change things for you? Is that a bit of a... Have you got to change the setup for that?
Yeah, a little bit.
Good stuff. Well, we'll catch you later on. I think keeping things close to the chest of the ORM guys, but we'll be in a decent position to get some good results this weekend. Colby Patterson as well, we should note, ran very quickly last weekend in Europe. Let's do a little bit of a shift this way. I want to see if we can catch up with some of the Argenti team. We've touched on it a little bit already, but a big part of this weekend is going to be drivers here as a one-off. Drivers here as a one-off for preparing for the World Championships. If you were with us for event number 1, you'll all know, because we wax lyrical about it, that it's great to have the World Championships here at PF later on in the year. But yeah, there's particularly an X30 Junior, it is a stacked entry this weekend, with a lot of drivers choosing this meeting to give themselves a bit of race practice ahead of coming back here later on in the autumn. In particular for Argenti, Arjen Kraling is in here this weekend. Lewis Francis, another one of the development drivers with the effort here. Let's have a little pop in and see if we can find anyone in the paddocks. Kenzo Craigie down there preparing tyres ahead of his session. We won't disturb him right now because he's hard at work. But as I say, Arjen Kraling from Germany running this weekend. Will be interesting to see how he gets on. Thomas Min Spearing back again. Very strong driver in previous years of the Wera Tools British Kart Championships. Sky Parker also running here this weekend. And keep an eye out for Harrison Whitcomb. Had a really good response after adversity earlier on in the year. Another driver that I'm expecting to see towards the front of the order here at PF across the 2 days of... It's a double header. We haven't mentioned that yet, that it's a double header this weekend. So 2 completely separate rounds being held across the course of the weekend. I'm just seeing if there's anyone further around there. I did see, they're right there. Victory Lane, another example of drivers here as a one-off, but to introduce them to people who might not be familiar, running on the Kart Republic chassis, this is a very, very strong team. Based out in France. They've got the likes of Louis Cachet and Rocco Coronel here this weekend. I am very interested to see, and he's right there in fact, we'll see if we can have a quick chat with Rocco Coronel. I'm very interested to see how they get on this weekend. This might be where I stick my head in to see if Rocco's all right to have a very, very quick chat with us. Great to have a number of our international runners here this weekend. Rocco, great to see you once again. PF International, you raced here before?
Never been here before.
And for the folks back home, you're here this year, I'd presume, very much with an eye on the World Championships later in the year. So what are you learning? What are you looking to learn here this weekend?
For sure the track itself, because it's quite a difficult track with the bridge and everything. But for the rest, when you can overtake, and that's only where we're here, and just where we can be fast.
I know we're only on free practice day. What kind of preparations have you done for racing up against the British Kart Championship regulars? What do you make of it so far?
Preparing how I can be fast, if I can be alone or behind someone, looking at the other people and just driving fast.
And a fair few other drivers here this weekend who you know from the FIA and the OK ranks as well. Who's your money on for doing well here this weekend?
Van Langenhoek can do it, because he has been here like 2 times. I speak with his dad 2 times, I think. And for the rest, I think it can be fast, because he was in all the session, he was quite fast. So and a few other drivers, maybe the English drivers, because they drive here as well. I think they can be fast.
Good stuff. Good to see you, mate. And again, welcome to the Wera Tools British Kart Championships. Rocco Coronel, who was on the podium last time we had an FIA round. That was at Val d'Argenton earlier on, well, less than a month ago. It's been a long month. But yes, no, great to have them here. Yes, they're going to be wild cards. We're not going to be talking about them in terms of championship protagonists and all of that. But I think, again, it really shows the strength of this championship at the moment, that you have got the best of the best, and we really do mean that. You look at their records coming here to compete this weekend. Mick Barrett Racing, well, it's a very poignant weekend, of course, for Mick Barrett Racing, and it's the first time they've raced in a British Kart Championships capacity here this year. The professionalism of this team, though, they'll be focusing on getting another strong result. Aston Sharp, in particular, I am keeping an eye on. Another driver who, without any results so far this year to go on a basis of a form book, Aston Sharp has looked very good indeed wherever we've raced in IAME Euro Series so far this year. So Aston Sharp, definitely a driver to keep an eye on across the course of the weekend. But yes, no, we do genuinely wish MBR the best of luck this weekend for everything that they've gone through over these past few months. It's great to see them here and looking like they're going to have a weekend. George Edgar, we should mention as well, has looked quick so far in preparations for this one. Let's march on down, because I'm conscious we need to do another full loop before we wrap this one up here on the free practice day. MDL there as well. Jacob Backler, interested to see how Jacob Backler gets on this weekend. Has been developing all the while through the course of the Euro Series season so far. Here we've got some more of our Tillotson runners in there. Great to see a number of drivers over from Ireland as well, competing here for their Nations Cup qualifier. Hello to Chris Walker as well, who we just saw in the background there. Croc Promotions. Well, Croc Promotions record in IAME speaks for itself. They're got a huge number of drivers here this weekend. Taylor Orridge, GP plate holder, winner here at PF for Kart Masters last summer. We spoke to him earlier in an interview that you'll have a little watch of later on, so we won't give Taylor more airtime because he's had enough already, but he's in good form and looking ahead to racing here this weekend in X30 Junior. Archie Owen as well. In fact, if I try and grab Archie Owen for a sec. Archie, feeling good ahead of this weekend?
Yeah, it's very grippy this weekend. But
I say, is that quite simply just the temperatures that we've had here in the UK? No rain?
must be. It hasn't been raining in a while, so.
What's the aim for this weekend? What's the minimum target for what you want to achieve?
Well, there's a lot of people in juniors, so probably top 15 is good result.
And this free practice day as well, what's the main focus? I see you've got new shod tyres on there, ready for the next session. What are you needing to work on right now, do you think?
Keeping the kart in control. I can't hold on to it at the minute. It's so physical.
And again, is that down to just the level of grip that's down there on the circuit already?
Yeah, definitely.
Good stuff. Well, we'll let you get to work there. Good to have a chat with Archie Owen. A bit more of a side of the Tillotson Brigade as well. As I say, it's had a number of later entries who are getting in before the deadline, which is really good to see. I don't think we've got any drivers around at the moment, unfortunately. So again, we'll have a little bit of a further chat with the Tillotson T4 drivers further on this weekend. They don't have the double header aspect, we should mention, so it's just the one single competition across the course of the weekend for them, with some free practice and qualifying on Saturday, then getting into the meat of their racing and through to the finals on Sunday. Right, Jamie Green Racing, big weekend for Jamie Green Racing. Took the victory last weekend in Franciacorta. Will Green in here as well, once again, runner-up in the championship last year. This is a key one for them to see if they can get their championship off to the best of starts. I want to see if I can have a chat with some drivers. I'm also having a look to see if I can see Freddie Wood's karts here. I can't at the moment. Freddie did have a bit of a bump last weekend. So we'll wish him the best in all of that. Let's see if we can have a chat with Ilyas Sami for a moment. Ilyas, how are you feeling this weekend?
Good.
been out on circuit yet? What do you think of it?
It's really good. The track is really grippy, and I love it. I'm having a good time, and it's really fun.
What's the hopes in terms of a result for this weekend? Where would you like to at least finish?
Maybe top 3.
Top 3 on the podium, and tell us a little bit about the kart as well. How do you like to drive it?
It's really fun on the top curb, and I love this track.
Good stuff. Well, thanks for talking to us. We'll catch you later on. I'm very conscious that I have seen the Fusion tents. Apologies, I'm getting in the way, because we should talk about them as well. Apologies, Piers, I'm running circles around. Yeah, we're going to go back that way to have a chat with about Fusion. We've had a chat with Sukmani Kira already in an interview that you'll see in due course. But yeah, they're looking good once again. Jarlath Sayer looking strong so far this weekend. Austin Gibson moving up from IAME Water Swift Restricted up to the non-restricted category here this weekend, so particularly keep an eye out for him this weekend. Who else have we got in? We've got another few of the international runners in here this weekend, including the likes of Nicholas Schaufler, who again I'm looking forward to see race this weekend. Let's have a chat. In fact, there is Nicholas Schaufler's. Let's have a chat with Alfie Davidson to see how things are going. I'm interrupting Alfie in the middle of some cool refreshments. Alfie, is that an enjoyable snack that you've got there?
Yeah, it's just a little bit because it's very hot and stuff so just need to have a little bit of refreshment sometimes.
How best do you prepare, apart from the ice pops, for these hot conditions? Because you think back to a few weeks ago when we were last here for the British Kart Championships. It was cold. It was not very nice. It's suddenly turned very warm here in the UK. How do you prepare for it?
I just prepare for it just try and drink a lot of water and sit down a lot and just stay calm at least. So yeah.
Good stuff. Well, we'll leave you to the refreshments and catch you later on. I want to see if we can have a word with Riley Cranham, because Riley has been running fantastically so far this weekend. Finn McLaughlin as well. Good to see Finn back here. They're running. And in fact, there's an array of drivers. Riley's run away, so we'll have a word with Jesse Phillips. Jesse, moving up. X30 Junior now for this year. For the folks at home, how's it been so far this year?
Yeah, it's been alright. We're making huge improvements throughout the year, so yeah, hopefully we can keep making steps forward.
And it's a big step, isn't it, moving from where you were last year into X30 Juniors. What do you think's been the biggest learning curve for you so far this year?
Yeah, it's a huge step. So I think the whole driving style and everything is good to learn and to adapt to different karts. So yeah, I think we've done a very good job so far, but we can keep improving.
And running in the familiar surroundings of Fusion as well, how important is it to have that consistency in their expertise?
Yeah, they're obviously a really good team, and I think it's good to keep it consistent and knowing everyone that's in here. I think that also plays a big part.
Good stuff. Well, I hope you have a good weekend, Jesse. Good to see you. I think we'll wrap up the Paddock show there for this run round the paddock on Friday on free practice day. As we say, full coverage all the way through Saturday, all the way through Sunday as well for this double header, rounds 1 and 2 for the IAME classes here at the Wera Tools British Kart Championships. I've been Andrew Mather. It's been very good to have you with us here at PFI, and we'll catch you very, very soon. Bye-bye.